for everyone. I hope you all are having a great day, and we're so excited to be sharing with you the launch of GOSM. So let's get started. I'm going to just go over a few logistical pieces before we dive into the presentation. My name is Courtney Clark. I'm a member of the Humanitarian OpenStreetMap Team Community Working Group. It's a volunteer group that is dedicated to the support and engagement of community groups and data contributors who are leveraging OpenStreetMap data and tools for positive impact. And we'd love to invite anyone on this call to join us. We're an open group and always looking for more volunteers. So we have a link to our information on the OSM Wiki right on the screen there. You can also find us, we have a channel in the hot Slack instance, and we'd be very excited to connect with you and get you involved in our activities. So just a few house rules. This presentation will be recorded and it will also be live streamed via YouTube, so you can also find it there. And we do ask that everyone participate and abide by the Humanitarian OpenStreetMap Team Code of Conduct. So elements of that include, we want to make sure that you're being welcoming, being considerate and respectful, careful in your word phrasing and your tone, assuming that all communications are positive and people have positive intent. And if there is disagreement, let's try to understand why as the first step there. And if you're in the audience, please make sure that you remain muted until we enter the question and answer part of the session. There are 2 audio channels. If you prefer to listen in English, you can stay here in the main room. We also have a generous volunteer who will be translating into French. So if you go to the bottom of your Zoom panel, you should see an icon of a kind of a globe-ish, and it is called interpretation. So you can switch over to the French channel if that's your preference. And then we just ask that you join in our excitement by sharing about this session and everything that you're learning on social media. And we have 2 hashtags, GOSM and GOSM family. Just a brief overview of our program for today. Right after this, I will be handing things over to GOSM to actually launch the platform and show you what it's all about. We'll then have an opportunity to move into breakout rooms. So these will be smaller rooms where you have more of an opportunity to ask questions of our presenters and also discuss with your fellow audience members. Finally, we'll end with a quick discussion and synthesis from the GOSM family. And we're very excited to have closing remarks from Jean-Marc Lautier, who is a board member of the OSM Foundation. So with that, I will hand it over to Steve Chumba, our fantastic Master of Ceremony. He's with Active Spaces. And thank you so much, Steve, for being here.
Thank you very much, Courtney, and thank you very much for this introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. Bon après-midi à tout le monde. And from my mother tongue, Uzia. My name is Steve Chumba, as Courtney has just said, and I work for Active Spaces, an incubator working with startups and entrepreneurs in Cameroon. Thank you very much all for being here with us today. I think the subject matter that brings us all together is very important. Today, it's very important for all of us to connect with our environment, and more importantly, more than just connecting, it's also about interacting with our space and the environment and the environment. A couple months ago, we launched. We gathered all through the power of Zoom here to launch the African platform of GOSM. And today we're launching a global platform. And I think we are making history today. And I want to thank you all for being part of this. I'm now going to introduce to you Willie and Christine, who are going to present um, the GOSM global platform. I'll now pass on the mic to Willie and Christine. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Steve, for giving me the floor. I will switch off my camera because I don't have a very good internet now. So just give me a second for this. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this launch ceremony. We are very, very excited to have all of you connected. As Steve just said, this is a project we have been working on it for a few months, few years. We started with a version in Cameroon and then a second version in Africa, and now we are scaling up to the world. So GOSM family is very pleased to have everyone connected today. So I'm Willie Frank from the OSM Cameroon community and also managing a geomatic company in Cameroon. So for our presentation today, I will be presenting with Christy, who is also a member of the family. So we have three parts. That is why, what is the problem behind this tool, what and for who are the target user and their story. So we will also be showing you some quick and fast demonstration of the platform. So let me start by giving you some element of the objective or the introduction. As you all know, when we observe the global issues like climate change, COVID-19, for instance, there's really need to build capacity of community to respond to changes. And these challenges need us to include appropriate change through creativity, innovation, and commitment to sustainable development goals, because these are on what we are focusing our solution also. We truly believe that power within the community is able to change, and OpenStreetMap is leading the real paradigm shifts in the field of mapping data. So this is something that we really observe that community really need to be empowered. And as we all know, the principle that emerged from the concept of empowerment, we have accountability, transparency, and inclusiveness. So this is something that is very important to take into account. Many organizations face obstacles to this part of empowerment because they lack data. As you can see, the concept behind when we say data is oil, it's just like oil. You know, the raw data is not, it does not really have value on. It's when it's properly refined, you can use this data and it's become decision-making tool, and it is also key and first step for digital transformation. And we all observe in this era of, let's say, digital transformation, that personal data has become a driving force on the internet. As you all know also, 80% of data have location component. But I want to say the location is important, but what is happening in a specific place is more valuable, and that is what we have to focus our interest also. So when we say, let us put ourselves on the map, this means that we need to explore the underside of maps in order to connect the story that people tell, the communities. But instead of, let's say, letting others tell us or tell our own story, it will be better to connect community to each other. That is why one of the pillars of our engagement is connect. When we say connection or connectivity, we are thinking about the digital ecosystem. You have university, you have public sector, you have private sector, you have NGO. What we notice is that there's no great communication between all these components. So we really want to connect the experience connect like the best practice and so on. So we are now in a situation where we need to understand the context of mapping in order to bring solution. And we started to map and to analyze the base situation of OpenStreetMap. That's why I wanted to give you some context element. We have, as you can see on my screen, around OpenStreetMap data, a lot of dynamic, a lot of energy going on there. You have like contribution, you have a lot of software, desktop or mobile for OSM contribution. You have some software also for the users. And many organizations around are working on with OpenStreetMap data. But now what we see is this: we are in a situation in which multiplicity of services is good. I think to have all those services is very interesting. But also this tends to lose a lot of contribution. As you can see, too much information kills information. Beyond technology and data, what is the common message and what are the challenges that and the opportunities also that we want to face today, or what we are facing and that we want to challenge. The main objective of our project is to allow exchange of information around mapped data and to facilitate the spatial dialogue of stakeholders around projects related to territory. Now, I really want to give you a 5-minute demo of what we have done for Africa and what is already working now for the whole world. Is one of our objectives was to create like a proof of concept that is a portal, a geo platform for each country. And the second major objective was to connect this geo portal to a social network. And as surprising as it is, more than half of countries in the world do not have a geo portal. So I will stop my screen here and then share yes, stop. Let me just share the demo. Can you all see my screen? Yes.
Yes, maybe we can. Thank you. Go ahead.
So each country will have a platform like this one. This is when you click to your country, you have your platform, and it's like a geo portal. I think everyone has gone through this type of platform. But what is important there, you have your base map. You can choose the map that you want to connect on. You have different level of map. You can add a map at the national level or a local level. You have also the possibility to choose your thematics. You can click on the map. You have 12 thematics there. Let me just close my door. I think I have an echo coming out there. Okay, fine now. So you can choose your thematic from these 12 thematic. You have a lot of information there. You can choose, and when you click, it's come on the map. But you can also search directly on the toolbar. You can zoom into your area of interest. I can even find it directly. Let's say Yaoundé, that's the capital of Cameroon. I can click and zoom into Yaoundé, as you can see. I can switch every data that you select here. You have another instance here with all those layers there. I can remove my satellite imagery. I can just remove my administrative boundary. I can zoom into the map, as you can see. If I've forgotten a thematic and I don't know where it is, I can even just find it here. Let's say like fast, and it will go into the database and select the fast food and all the information that connect the fast food. And then I will have into my map the fast food that appears. What is interesting there also is that at the level, you can also use your tool here with the transparent tool. But let me connect back to the imagery. This is something that is interesting. And each data, you can click on it and then have an information, and those information are from OpenStreetMap. You have the telephone number, you can even add and modify, you can zoom into the element and have the base map there. What is very interesting there is that all the data that you have chosen and all these base are from OpenStreetMap. You can decide to download your data easily. So because this is one of the issues that we noticed is that people really wanted to work on OpenStreetMap, but they create information, but it's not always easy to download. When you just click, all your data are downloaded, you can choose your area where you want to download the data, and you all have all the tools here. You can just export them in a geo package file. So there's a lot into this, let's say, demo. You can even have some specific tool that we have added into it, and you can compare different maps. So what is interesting also is to notice that we have been connecting to multiple API. Today, I will just give you an example of what you can do with this API of Mapillary. When you activate your API of the street level, you can click on it and then have access of the street level on Yaoundé, on some specific area. So this is something that is already available for everyone. So all the countries will have a platform like this. So it is something that is very interesting. As I just said, a lot of countries across the world does not have a geoportal, and you have some other tools you can navigate. You can have the legend and measure the distance. So I will stop for this demo because what is very important there is the social network we are going to connect to this platform. And then if you want to write, you can just click on the question mark, and then you can write on WhatsApp or on Facebook. We hope we will have time to train and to transfer and to build capacity for each community in order for them to be managing their service platform. So I will go back to my presentation, and then we will start the real presentation of the social network. Thank you. Let me come back to my presentation. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, Willie, we can. Thank you. Keep going.
Yes, exactly. So I will just give the floor now to Christine for the next step before coming back to another demo, very, very strong demo with the social network. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Willie. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Christine, you have the floor.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much, Willie. Hi, everyone. My name is Christine Mohone. I'm part of the GOSM family, and I am from Malawi. So I'm going to be presenting to you about the various user cases that we came up with that we feel like you might be part of those user cases. Basically, my presentation is going to show you the different kinds of people in the community, in the societies that are going to have access to this portal. So I'm going to be looking at 4 user cases. I'll present their frustrations, their needs, and what they want to achieve. Okay, so turn off my video. All right, so look at this person. So our first example of a user case is someone who is an OSM contributor. His name is Derek. Derek is 23 years old. He's just finished his studies from the university. At the university, Derek was part of an OSM community in which he participated in a volunteering event, or I can say maybe they organized an event as an OSM community in which Derek was part of it. But then with all this experience, Derek has his own frustrations and he has his own needs. What are Derek's frustrations? Derek is not able to get like a user-friendly platform by using OSM. Derek finds OSM not to allow him to download data. And Derek has also lost many tools and services that are within the OSM data. So now Derek's needs are, he wants that his past and current projects to be showing, like to be sharing with his fellow people people in his community, people in his OSM group, people in his country, and people from elsewhere in the world. Also, Derek wants to connect with other contributors and exchange with them about his project and about his ideas. And the other thing that Derek wants to achieve is that he wants to find out about existing projects and other actors around him, around his country, around his community. So now this portal that we are launching is going to help Derek to achieve some of these needs that Derek wasn't able to achieve with the OSM platform or within the access of the tools that he had at the moment. And now let me go to the second use case. This is a GIS technical manager. His name is John. I'll use John, and John is from Nepal. So John, as part of his organization, his main frustrations is lack of mapping data. There is lack of addresses to the taxes. Like, let's say he corrects taxes of people within his NGO. So Derek doesn't have that. And Derek also lacks coordination of projects. Derek also lacks reporting of problems, or maybe a leakage. There are some leakages within his projects. So what Derek wants to achieve, or what his needs are, he wants to collect up-to-date data. And Derek also wants to communicate with citizens on, let's say, actions that are to do with his community, his city, or his country. And also, Derek wants to be aware of the different like investment projects that are going on within the council or within his country or within the community. So now this portal is going to help Derek to be able to connect with people, to be able to access the data that he wasn't able to access before. Or Derek will also be able to find, let's say, the data that he couldn't get easily. He was supposed to maybe make calls, he was supposed to find certain contacts or meet other people in person for him to access that kind of data. Because we have this portal, Derek will have all his needs met just by accessing this portal. Let me now go to the third user case. So the third user case, this is an NGO program or projects manager. Her name is, I'll call her Christine. Christine is from Malawi, and Christine has her own frustrations as well. So some of Christine's frustrations are lack of monitoring and evaluation projects for his work. There is poor functioning coordinating, let's say, bodies or tools that she uses. Christine also lacks strategy, or let's say coordination, or there's a mismatch between some of the needs and the intervention that she's working on. And also there is, let's say, lack of resources, like lack of data as well. So Christine, what she wants to achieve is she wants to know and locate her organization, like currently, how she can plan her projects and where her organization is. So how can Christine do that? This portal will also be able to give Christine some of those needs. Christine will also be able to have a transparent feedback from the citizens, whereby citizens will be able to also log into the portal, and they'll be able to, since it's a social network, they'll also be able to voice out their needs. So instead of Christine going on the ground to talk to these people personally, physically, Christine will be able to access some of these, the feedback from the citizens, and also get some other information from the citizens through this portal. And don't forget, this portal is about finding data, connecting with people, and at the end of the day, you also be empowered. Now, let me go to our last user case. This is Alice. Alice is 41 years old. Alice is just a normal citizen, like a local citizen. He might not be part of an NGO. He might not be part of a council. He might not be part of an OSM community, but maybe Alice is just a sit-at-home mom, or just one of those ladies in the community or society. She's not doing anything. But then she also has her own frustrations. So some of her frustrations could be maybe difficulty to report certain problems within her community. Let's say there's a damage of, let's say, a tap or some public facility in her community. So she has difficulties to report that. And then maybe she also has difficulty in planning about maybe things going on around the neighborhood, like they want a certain service from the city council, or they want a certain service from a certain government institutions. She also wants to report that, to be able to have an easy access on how to report that. And also other frustration could be the linkage or the communication between the local citizens and the politicians or government officials. So in general, all these are just part of the frustrations that a local individual might have. So what does you want to achieve at the end of the day? So Alice she wants transparency between the government officials and the local citizens. Alice also wants to be able to take action or take part in contributing to the needs in her community, the needs in her neighborhood. So how does Alice achieve this? This portal, if Alice is part of this portal, she logs into the portal, she'll be able to report some of the cases that are happening within her community, and she'll be also able to access certain information like data that is available that people put into the platform. So this is our last user case, but also I want us to take note that this portal is not only for like mapping data. Some people can also put other, like any interesting information about them, because it's a social network. So you can interact with people. It may not necessarily be about actual mapping data. It might be about a service that you're looking for, maybe a golf center somewhere, a play center somewhere, maybe a park somewhere. This portal will also give you access to that. So now the other part that I'm going to look at as the final part of the user cases, I'm going to look at how the needs of these people align with our communities or the people that are attending this presentation right now. So if you look at the OSM contributor, this OSM contributor, their main needs is they want to be more visible. They want to show the projects that they have done as part of the OSM community, or as part of as just being an individual. And also, they also want to find new opportunities on how they can explore. They also want to find like being part of other communities which are having events, let's say just groups, other mapping groups or other mapping projects or any other interesting projects that are going around the ecosystem. Yeah, so all that, it is showing you that if your needs align with any of this portal is the right place for you to be. And if you look at the GIS technical manager and the program manager from the NGO, these two, they have like similar needs, and their needs are, they want to monitor their organization's projects. They want to communicate and be transparent about their organization's projects as well. And also they want to use this platform to recruit and call on contributors, like people that are going to help in their various projects. And lastly, they want to be attentive to the needs and opportunities of projects going on around them. And the last part on the local citizen, she wants to find out about projects that are going on around the area. And also, she also wants to be able to report the needs that are happening in the area. So if you look at all these 4 user cases, I feel like you can fit in one of these and see which one is your need and how does this portal apply to you. So that's the end of the user cases. And please don't forget that the main pillars of the GeOsm platform is to be able to access data, to be able to connect with people, the social network part, and at the end of it, you are going to be empowered as you connect and as you network. Thank you. Let me hand over to Willie.
Thank you, Christine, for this beautiful presentation. Just to come back and on my image and say, yes, our goal here is not to replace the existing tools. No, we really want to bridge and bring together communities together and to exchange data within a same network. So what is interesting there is I should maybe give you a simple demo on what it works, but let me give you some bullet points on what we have built. It's a social network centered on cartography that allows to custom OSM data. That is the first part, like the current geoportal I just showed you. That is something that we really want to keep on. This will also allow you to create and discover posts, public page, group, project, and even events. You can select your area. You have some filter there. You can connect susceptible to specific goal of the SDGs. This will also allow you to create your portfolio. You have your profile there. You can connect with other community member and create and have your opportunity. You also have a messagery and a notification system. Please let me just give you the demo. That would the last demo of our session. Let me share the screen, please. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, really, we can see the screen. You can go.
Thank you. This is what you just saw before, but this is the new version with a new design. And as you just see, you can have your thematics there, normal thematics. You can zoom into your map, and you can have access to the different services I just presented. So what is important there also is this second part of discovering what's going on your territory. You know, you can have located information, but if you need to like or to comment or to interact, you need to connect to the platform. That is, you have to log in. And when you log in now, you can like, you can have your notification there, as you can see with your messages. You can have access of detail on specific information. I can click on this project and I can have access and even see the location of what is going on. I can see the sustainable development goals that are connected and the thematics. I can write, I can share, I can like, I can challenge and add my own comments there. I can even see, as we can see here, the SDGs that are connected to the next project. So you can also locate your project on the map like this. You click on the pop-up, you have screenshot, you can observe your project. But this is how it works. When you want to create a post, you just click here. Let me choose a post with a cycle. I locate my zone of interest. I have now to select my SDGs that are connected to the project, and now with some specific field of interest, and I can select my topic, and from there I can add the comments and I can post so everyone can have access to the information where they can come and like and share this information also. If you want also, you can have access to the toolbar. You can slide like this and go back to have more information. You can have access to the group and pages. This was the post, but now you can have the groups. People also can create the groups. You can have specific GOSM community or group for a specific project. It's not only about OpenStreetMap. It's very, very large as far as you are locating your action. You can have also project there. I can locate some project, and then you also have the whole community with all the, you can have the people that are connected on the platform, people that are following, people that are following. You can even click on someone that has an account. What we need to say here is that if you already have an OSM account, it's nice because directly we will connect your account to this platform. So we can have information on people that you are following, the group and pages on which you are connected, the project and events on which you will be attending. So all this information are very, very interesting. This is the biography and of this person. You can also have connection to groups. So I can connect to group and see what is going on there. I can even choose to follow a group, to join a group. It can be possible also. You can also connect to project. You have a lot of project there. You can see, you can select, you can choose from and select with the filter. You can click on the project. You have the location of the project. And then on the location of the project, you can access on more information there also. So as you have the project, you also have the pages. You can connect to different pages and see what is going on around it. Yes, and then also the events. You can connect to specific events. I can click on an event and see what's going on. Let's click on the Mapaton in Yaoundé. I have the date, I have some images, I can connect on it. This is a Mountain Preservation International Conference, for example. Yep. So for the next step, I would like to present also the messaging. You can write like normal social network messaging to your community, people with whom you are connected. So this is very important because this will enable spatial dialogue within entities and institutions. You can also have the notification there, and you can click to have, the profile. You can see and edit someone profile. You can have the view and have some OSM statistic also of this person. You can click there. You have the map and his contribution. If you are not OSM member, you will not have this part. But if you are connected with your OSM account, you can have and choose and see the level of effort you have been doing, contributing on the map. You can also see the people with whom you are connected. And this is very interesting platform. So you can log out as normal platform. So I will just come back to my presentation and give the floor to my technical group, those who have been working also behind this project. And I don't know if Jody is there. I will just keep the presentation. If you can switch on your camera, and then I don't know if Jody have been added, but yes, Jody, if you are there, please just take the floor, and then you can conclude this part.
Thank you very much, Willie and Christine, for this fantastic presentation. As I'm sitting here listening to both of you, I think Zoom has not yet thought of a feature, and I just want to ask everybody to clap for you. But we're still digitally connected, so I'm just going to ask everybody to just put a wow in the chat box for now, and whilst we wait until Zoom that we need to think about a new feature. Thank you very much, everybody. And thank you very much, Willie. Thank you very much, Christine, for this great presentation. Amazing. As I was saying earlier, today we are thinking beyond just connecting with our space, but we are also thinking about interacting with our space. And again, this is just a fantastic example of this kind of work being done. So well done to the team, the technical team that has been working on this. I am now going to pass over to Courtney, who is going to tell us how and who or how we are going to go into our breakout sessions where we can have our Q&A. Thank you very much, Courtney. You've got the microphone and the screen. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And just want to share a huge congratulations and wow, this is an amazing platform. So now we're going to move into the breakout rooms because the GOSM family would love some feedback from participants, such as everyone in this room, as well as any questions. We only have about 10 minutes for this piece, but I know they'll love to keep the conversation going even beyond this session. So I have on my screen the 3 breakout rooms. You can choose which to enter as an audience member, and we will move into those right now. So you should see something on your screen to let you join a breakout room. Thanks. All right, welcome back everyone from your breakout rooms. I think a few more are just joining. Okay, great. So really quickly, because I know we're running up on time and we definitely want to hear from Jean-Marc. Does anyone have some brief comment from their breakout room about what you discussed or anything important that you learned? We'll start with breakout room 1. Did you all have a volunteer to speak?
Yeah, I think I'll volunteer. So in volunteer 1, we in room 1, we actually talk about, I think the most important note or pressing point for me is that to have different language translation, and we are very happy that Abdurrahman from OSM Libya have volunteered to translate or have another event for this in Arabic. So yeah, thank you for Abdurrahman, and I think next time we will have a French one too. Thanks.
That's amazing. That's really exciting. Wonderful. Okay, and for Breakout Room 2, who do we have?
So in Breakout Room 2, there were just questions around if it would be available in different countries like Guinea, and if it would be available across different networks like 3G, 4G, 5G, which Christine answered that it would be available across all networks and all over the world. And there were also questions around if how this platform is different than other OSM platforms. And Christine answered that it's just going to add on to what's already there. So it's just more interesting than all other platforms. And yeah, that was mostly it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alantika. And then finally, Breakout Room 3, do we have a volunteer?
Yeah, so there was a question about if someone who wants to participate needs to have an account for them to be able to participate on the platform. So Steve answered that and said yes, you have to have an account because there is that interconnectivity. So that was basically what, for the most part.
Great. Okay, that's awesome. I think it's a great beginning to the conversation, and I'm sure there will be so much more to come. Arnalee is sharing in the chat a link to fill out a form with more written feedback. So please make sure you take just a few minutes to do that as well. And now I'm going to hand things over to Jean-Marc Lautier for our closing remarks. And he is a board member of the OSM Foundation. So thank you very much for being here. And I'll pass it over to you, Jean-Marc. Thank you.
I'm sorry about the delay and everything. So,
no worries,
so yes, I'm here on behalf of the OpenStreetMap Foundation, and as you may know, the OpenStreetMap Foundation is foremost the keeper of the OpenStreetMap license, so trademark, which is valuable as the guardian of license of OpenStreetMap data, and also the OpenStreetMap Foundation has the goal of the distribution of OpenStreetMap data to an audience as wide as possible. So up to now, software in the domain of data distribution has been mostly originating in North America, in Europe, and here we wish to salute an initiative which is African-led, which has the potential to bring OpenStreetMap data and open data to audiences which may not have been, their needs may not have been taken into account as fully as from the perspective of designers and developers who are close in touch with the local needs. We've seen the use cases which are specific to the frustration, needs, requirements of users in context different from the ones that we've daily experienced in Europe or the USA, for example. So we are very happy not only to, well, we've signed a license agreement for the trademark as GOSM used the OSM trademark in its domain name. That was the initial reason why we've been involved. And that's, well, it's pretty much a defensive measure to ensure that the OSM trademark is only used for free software, open data for the good of the OpenStreetMap project. But on top of that, we're also happy to participate in that small way in a project which is empowering for new audiences, and that might have a potential to open new fields of application to OpenStreetMap data and to let new audiences truly appropriate the technology and the data, not just be users of data and software which originates in different social contexts, but also to be fully participant and take the lead, because that's what it's about. The functionalities we're seeing right now with GOSM are beyond what we've seen in other data distribution portals. The context, the social context given to data distribution, that is linking users to producers, linking users together, and breaking out of the social isolation of OpenStreetMap Live, because quite often we see people who are lone contributors and who contribute data of which they may not fully know how it's going to be used. And by bringing these people together, it's a concrete step toward data quality, as production and quality assurance make much more sense when they are connected from the upstream, that is a contribution to downstream to the users. And this is a tool that enables that sort of use cases. So we're very happy to see it, and we look forward to see it develop and to see it take aboard new participants and enrich the OpenStreetMap community with all the people that gather around the project and who are often not the one we've seen in OpenStreetMap circles so far. So we're very happy to have that new blood and new initiative led from Cameroon. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone who presented and participated today. Congratulations, and we hope you all have a great rest of your day.